Hello, Janesville, and welcome to JPAC Behind the Curtain, where we talk about Janesville performing arts and upcoming shows, concerts, plays, and other events that are associated with the Performing Arts Center. Of course, we have Jim McCulloch here, who is our education and outreach person with JPAC.
Good afternoon, Alan.
And today we're going to be talking about the one thing that's on the top of your docket for the next month or so, and that's the Willy Wonka show.
Willy Wonka Jr., yes. So we're going to be doing that at JPAC at the end of the summer. So we're excited to be on board with that, and it's finally here. So it seems like it's been forever in planning.
So how many kids do you have in this performance?
Just to back it up, just tell you about a little bit of what the production is all about. This is our summer class production, so to speak. It's a 4-week session. It starts on July 16th, and then it runs up through the 12th of August, which is our closing curtain for the performance. So what happens is kids will sign up and they will audition. They've auditioned back in May. So they audition for the class, everybody's in, we don't really turn anybody away. And then we have a parent meeting, we get them all their materials, we get them all set up, and then we don't see them for about a month. And then they come in on July 16th. We run for 4 weeks. We go Monday through Friday, 9 to noon, and it's treated as a class. So they all come on, they show up, they get costumes, they get set pieces, they learn choreography, they learn the music. Lori Heidenreich is our musical director. She's a retired choral director from Whitewater Unified, and she's been doing that with us for the last couple of years. So that's the whole class aspect of it. And to answer your original question, we have 73 students that will be performing in Willy Wonka, ranging in age from 8 to 18, so a good 10-year gap in between everyone. So we are very pleased and excited. We thought we might have to cut off the number of kids we had, simply because we can only put so many kids on a stage at one time and still be able to move around, you know, without looking like penguins. And we were glad that we were able to do this. We were able to cast everybody this year, and we're just excited to get started with it. So we've got a couple weeks yet, and we're ready to go.
Now, out of the kids that have been cast, how many of those are like backstage? Are they doing set design
Those
work?
of the 73 that I told you about, those are all actual performers.
Oh, okay.
So the backstage people, we've got 2 of our returning high school students from last year. We've got Liza Hodge and Sydney Foley is going to be coming back as our stage manager. So we've got one that's going to be running the house, running the show from the house back with the tech people, and then we have Liza, who is in charge of the backstage crew, and then we will start assembling as many as we need, probably about 5 or 6 backstage crew for this. So yeah, it's all student driven. There are some parents that are involved, but mostly it's the kids that are driving the ship here. Other than Lori and myself, and we have one costume designer who's a paid staff. It's all volunteers, and it's all you know, kids.
I saw the Aladdin show last year, and I thought the set design was just fantastic. Who kind of comes up with all these ideas, and how does it happen?
I designed the set for that last year, so I've been doing this for a number of years, and it's just easier to design the set since you don't have a professional designer. So I'm the one that put that together with the help of Mike Stallsberg, who's our technical director. So basically the 2 of us drew up the plans, bought the materials, and then just started putting it up. You know, there was some help from parents, obviously. And then we had some people come in and help paint, because I'm not the painter type. I mean, I can slap paint on a wall, but detail is not my forte. So that's how we do that. And then the costumes, last year for Aladdin, you saw a really great set of costumes we had. I had done the show several years ago up in Whitewater, and we had all the costumes. So instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, we just, you know, borrowed them from Whitewater and came down here with that. This year, not so fortunate, we're starting from scratch. So we have 0 costumes to dress 70 kids, like Oompa Loompas, spoiled brats, adults, Willy Wonka, obviously, and then the grandparents. So it's interesting, but it comes about just kind of sitting down and brainstorming with different people, doing some research, looking at the 2 Willy Wonka movies that are out there now, because that's what everybody's going to be basing this on. And then kind of this script kind of lends itself. It's been retooled a little bit by the playwrights. So it kind of takes a combination of the old classic Willy Wonka with Gene Wilder, and it kind of combines it with the new version with Johnny Depp. So we have squirrels instead of geese for the Veruca scene. Violet is handled a little differently. The parents are a little different. It's not just the traditional parents, it's the Violet's mom instead of Violet's dad. So there's some things that have been integrated with the old and the new. So it's interesting, but it's a fun script. This is the junior version, so it's not the full-blown script, and it's canned music, which is, you know, not everyone's favorite, but in the short amount of time we're doing this, it's just a lot easier for a lot of reasons to do the canned music, and the kids love it. So they can go home with their CD and they can listen. Yes, I said CD. You know, they didn't know what a CD was, half of them. They're like, what's that? So we had to find different ways of getting the media to them so they could learn their parts. There's a lot of work that takes place off property when they're not in the class. So we kind of expect that, since it is a short, we call it boot camp, theater boot camp. So 4 weeks from start to finish, with 4 performances that kind of just finishes the whole thing off. So performances are the 9th through the 12th of August. Tickets are available at JPAC. Tickets are on sale now. They've already started selling, believe it or not. So we anticipate, last year we had over 1,300 people come and see Aladdin. This year we are hopefully going to get around, we're looking for 1,500 to 1,600 is what we're shooting for. That's our goal. And I think that's pretty attainable. We've got a lot of print media out about it, a lot of good press, and just word of mouth. So it's really starting to get some traction, and we're excited to have everybody come and see it.
And you brought with you basically a list of the community candy art project.
Right, that's another offshoot of this. We've done a whole bunch of different things trying to promote the event. Festival Foods is our presenting sponsor, so they've donated a generous amount of money for the program, and they become our presenting sponsor. So thank you to Festival Foods. So if you do see anybody from Festival, please give them a nice big thank you, telling them that you appreciate their support of the community events. As well as a whole list of other sponsors that we have. But one of the other things that we did was we wanted to do some kind of an art project. So we thought, well, what we could do with Willy Wonka candy. So we have candy shapes. They're cut out of wood. So we have wooden candy shapes. We've got ice cream cones. There's hard candy twists. We've got, what else was there? There were gumdrops, and then lollipops, and then donuts. So what this was, anyone that could come in, they wanted to sponsor, if they were an artist or if they sponsored an artist, the platform or the plywood cutout would cost $25, and they would donate that to JPAC, and then they would give the art piece either to an artist, school group. So we've got Girl Scout troops, there's a few from Craig High School, some other community groups, and then some individual artists as well that have painted all of these, and they've painted them all different crazy, wild, imaginative things, and then turned them back in. We found a host of businesses in the downtown Janesville area that were willing to put them up in their storefronts or display them somewhere in their establishment. And then what we've done here is we put together a little pamphlet, a little walking tour of downtown, so it's on both sides, giving all the information about the show, and then it tells a little bit about each one of the art pieces, where it's located, who the artists and sponsors were, and just a little bit about them. And then they're displayed all downtown. So what you can do for the entire summer, if you're interested, you can find these pamphlets at JPAC or any of the participating storefronts that are doing this with us. And you can get one of these, take a walk downtown, go into the different shops, take a look at all the different candy pieces. It's just kind of a fun little thing that we thought might be fun. And then we will gather them all up at the end of the summer. And we are having an ice cream social on the 11th of August, which is a Saturday night performance. It's free to the public. Anybody is welcome to come. Free ice cream social, and we are going to be silent auctioning off all of these candy shapes. All of the proceeds from this art project go to the Education and Outreach Program to fund different programs throughout the year. So it's been wildly successful. We have over 36 candy shapes that are all displayed downtown, some very interesting and unique ones, some that are just, we never thought of that. And so it's interesting to see what people's take on the whole thing would be, but very excited about that. So that's just another thing, just to add to the whole, excitement of the event and kind of get some buzz generated. So we've had a lot of success and a lot of response from the community members about it. So I think we're onto something here for future shows. So now people want to know what we're doing next year. I'm like,
so this is the first time trying this?
This is the first time trying this, and it's just kind of blindly going through it and not really knowing, anything to base it on. We're very successful. We feel it's been very successful. We've had the shapes were donated to us. Someone cut them out for us and donated the lumber to us. And like I said, it's very reasonable, and people just had fun doing it. So we had a lot of people just saying thank you, and do it again.
Excellent, excellent. So, okay, so we got August 9th through the 12th, and they're going to be in the boot camp for those 4 weeks solid.
Those 4 weeks, and we'll be performing. The other thing that we're doing, and they're rehearsing it right now, we added a little thing, because we had so many of the younger kids, and we wanted to give them a little more exposure on stage and a little more grit, something for them to do. So we've created what we're lovingly calling the Oompa Loompa Review, or the Wonka Review, whichever you prefer. So what we've done is we've offered it to strictly cast members, any of that want to come in, and they've been coming in for the last 2 weeks in June. So right now is our second day of this mini camp that we've got. Vicki Neitzel has generously offered to put this review together, and what it is, it's about a 15-20 minute review, and it sings just different songs relating to candy. So you've got Sugar by the Archies, you've got a whole medley that's in there, you've got a couple of songs from the show, you've got Lollipop, and they've put this together in a little review, and they'll be dressed up in their costumes. Then what we'll do is we will take this out into the community for different events. So for the farmers markets, for example, the 4-H fair, we'll be up at Festival Foods out in the parking lot there for kind of a giveaway type thing to promote the show later this summer. So what the kids will do is they will go up and perform this in just the various locations, just as more of an advertising tool. And then the 4 performances of the show on the 9th through the 12th, they will be actually the opening act. So the Oompa Loompa Review is the opening act for Willy Wonka. And then it's just something just to add some more fun to the whole event and give the kids a little more opportunity, because it's really about the kids. Just getting them, since this is the educational portion of what I do, this is like the crown jewel of what we do. It's about the kids. It's giving them a chance to really show their talents, build that self-confidence, build these kind of life skills that they're going to need. That's the real goal here. Yes, we want to do a fantastic show. We want the kids to have fun. We want the audience to come and participate in this too. But it's really all about the kids, just giving them a chance to just shine and really show what they can do. And it's fun watching them from start to finish. So.
Yes, and I saw the preview last year at the Tallman Arts Festival, I believe.
Right,
That's where,
right. We'll probably be there again too. So. But yeah, it's a great time. So I encourage everybody to come out, support the Janesville Performing Arts Center. The education outreach portion of it is where the Willy Wonka Jr. comes through. But it's a great family event. Beautiful historic auditorium. That's another thing that the kids and the families really appreciate, is that some of these kids have never performed on a stage of this magnitude or the historic value of it, and they walk on the stage and it's just fun to see their faces light up, and you know, that terror kind of goes away where they're like, oh, this is not as bad as we thought it was going to be. So they're really enjoying it. So we look forward to having everybody come out and check us out.
Very good. Well, that's just a reminder, folks. It's August 9th through the 12th, and just keep in mind there's going to be lots of the promotional pieces coming up, and I'm sure we'll help out any way we possibly can leading up to that, so that way people know what's going on. But yeah, it's well worth it seeing a show like this. I think, you know, people are just going to be charged after seeing it. It's going to be a great experience. So.
They'll have a sugar rush.
There you go. All right, thanks, Jim. Well,
thanks,
that's
Alan.
it for JPAC Behind the Curtain. We'll catch you next month.